Professor Anderson froze. His rule was absolute: late students stay out. But she was standing at the door. The girl he'd loved silently for months. His mind went completely blank. Every word he'd planned to teach that day vanished into thin air. It started like any other Tuesday morning. Professor Anderson stood in his classroom. He was writing on the board, explaining the rules one more time to his students. "Remember," he said firmly, "if you're not here before I start, you cannot enter. No exceptions." The students nodded. They knew Professor Anderson never broke his rules. He was famous for it. Fair but strict. Very strict. 20 minutes into the lesson, the door opened slightly. A student peeked in nervously. "I'm sorry, Professor. The bus was late. Can I please?" Professor Anderson didn't let her finish. "No, my rule is clear. Come on time tomorrow." The student left, embarrassed. The other students looked at each other. That was harsh, but fair. Professor Anderson continued teaching. He was explaining a grammar point. His voice was calm and professional. Everything was normal. Then, 10 minutes later, the door opened again. This time, everything changed. Emma walked in. Beautiful, brilliant Emma, the top student in his class. The girl who made his heart race every time she raised her hand to answer. Professor Anderson's mouth went dry. His hand, holding the chalk, stopped moving mid-sentence. Emma looked at him apologetically. "I'm so sorry, Professor. My car wouldn't start." Her voice was soft, genuine. She stood there, waiting for his decision. The entire class went silent. Everyone remembered what had just happened 10 minutes ago. Professor Anderson's brain started spinning wildly. "Okay, think," he told himself. "If I send her away, I'm fair. If I let her in, I'm a hypocrite." But then, another thought crashed into his mind like a meteor hitting Earth. "Wait, I'm single. She's single. She's amazing. What if this is my chance?" His heart started beating faster. What if I just tell her how I feel? The professor stood there, frozen in the middle of the classroom. Emma stood at the door, confused. 30 seconds passed. Then 45. Then a full minute. The students started looking at each other nervously. Is he okay? Professor Anderson's internal dialogue was getting louder and crazier by the second. Should I tell her? Right now? In front of everyone? No, that's insane. But if I send her away, she'll hate me. If I let her in, everyone will know I like her. He started sweating. His hand was still in the air, holding the chalk, completely motionless. Emma watched him carefully. Then suddenly, she understood everything. Her eyes widened slightly. "Oh no," she thought. He's going to confess." She saw it in his eyes. The panic, the confusion, the hope. It was all there, written on his face. Emma took a deep breath. Then very slowly, she smiled politely and said, "You know what? I think I left something in my car. I'll come back tomorrow." And just like that, she turned around and walked away, saving them both from total disaster. Professor Anderson watched her leave. Relief washed over him like a wave. Then horror. Then embarrassment. Then more relief. Then more horror. He looked at his students. They were all staring at him with their mouths open, completely confused. Where were we?" he said weakly, turning back to the board. His hand was still shaking. The chalk fell to the floor. One brave student raised his hand. "Professor, are you feeling okay?" Professor Anderson picked up the chalk with trembling fingers. Yes, perfectly fine. Just remembered I forgot to feed my cat this morning. Let's continue. Nobody believed him. But nobody said anything. They just exchanged knowing glances and smirks. The next day, Emma arrived 15 minutes early. She sat in the front row. When Professor Anderson walked in, she smiled at him normally, as if nothing had happened. He smiled back nervously. Then he started teaching, speaking faster than usual, avoiding eye contact. At the end of class, Emma walked up to his desk. His heart stopped. She handed him a small note, then left quickly before he could say anything. Professor Anderson opened the note with shaking hands. It said, "Coffee after class next Friday." He stood there, stunned, holding the note like it was made of gold. Then he smiled. A real, genuine smile. Sometimes the best words are the ones you never say. Want more hilarious stories to improve your English? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure. Drop a comment telling us, have you ever frozen completely when you liked someone? Share your story below.